Shout out Q. Shout out Q.
Senior pitcher on the Sherando Warriors Baseball team, Gavin McKelvey, joining me now. Gavin, thanks for your time first and foremost. How does it feel just sort of being back out here in the swing of things?
I'm excited. It's the best time of the year. We have a really good team, and I'm really excited to see how this year goes. Really young bunch of players.
As a pitcher entering your senior year, just take me through what you were working on during your off season. I know there's travel baseball and stuff around the area, but what did you do during the off season?
I played for American Legion Post 21 during the off season. We made it all the way down to the state tournament. Then I worked out with Daryl Thompson, AAA player, now going to play in the Mexican Baseball League. Sherando graduate as well. Went to Shenandoah. And overall, I'm just trying to work on getting a bit more consistency and then working towards better off speed and getting ahead in the counts.
So Thompson created the Shenandoah Valley Baseball Ranch. I assume that's where you were a part of. How huge is that to have something in the area like that?
Oh, it's great. It's really blown up. Everyone enjoys it. He's a really good coach. He knows a lot about the game, and he has taught me so much in the 5-6 years I've been going there. I mean, I credit all my success to his teachings.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just discussing last season. I mean, this team made huge strides. Unfortunately, not where you wanted to end up, falling in extra innings to Charlottesville. But what are you sort of taking out of last season, bringing into this season to sort of improve on in a sense?
I mean, we're more motivated. That last one, I mean, we all know we could have won that game. We were in position to win that game, and it just didn't go our way. I think to improve on it, we're just focusing in more. The team, we're, like I said, we're more efficient. We are more hardworking. We're dedicated. We do not want the same ending we had last year, especially me and all 6 other seniors.
So, as a pitcher, yeah, I know the arsenal when it comes to Sherando baseball is pretty loaded, based on past history. Just take me through what it's like just pitching in high school and the relationship between the pitcher and the catcher when it comes to a high school baseball game.
Well, pitching a high school game, you know, pitching wins championships at high school. You can't really win games just on offense in high school. So you have to have a good starter and you have to get a really good rotation. We have 8-9 guys I think can jump in right now and give us quality innings. With the catcher, I mean, we have, I think, the best catcher in all the teams we play, Dylan Frazier. He is phenomenal. That's why he's going to JUCO, Division II JUCO, and I've built a relationship with him over 2 years. I mean, you can see when you have a good relationship with your catcher, they know what you're going to throw. They know when something's off. They just help you so much in the game.
What's the intensity like when you're on the mound, yeah, especially in a Northwestern District game? Do those vibes sort of get to you at all, or you just block that all out in a sense?
I mean, as a team, we get fired up, obviously, especially heading towards James Wood Millbrook as a pitcher. I try to keep my cool. I try not let my emotions show. But, I mean, when you get that big out, 5th, 6th inning in a jam, you have to just get fired up. I mean, fist pumping, screaming. But you have to control your emotions, because if you let your emotions play, that's when you start to struggle as a team and an individual.
In general, as a senior on this baseball team, I just want to get your thoughts. Just the baseball in the area, it seems like it's just been growing year in and year out. The support, the attendance, just your thoughts on playing baseball in this area when it comes to high school.
I mean, this is a great spot to play baseball. Right now, we're at a spot, there are no more weak teams. Like, you used to be able to roll into a Warren County, for example, and steamroll them. They have a really good team now. They have a really good coach that's rebuilt that program. Wood is always good. They've made 3-4 state tournaments in a row. It's intense. You have to be on your A game every single time you're out there.
Yeah, and just getting out here on the field today, and I know we had some nice weather over the course of the early season when the season was getting rolling after tryouts. How huge is that you're maximizing your time outside instead of cold, snowy, and you're forced inside into a gym?
I mean, it's huge to get outside. I look at Millbrook last year. Millbrook didn't get outside until the day they played us, and they dropped, I think, 4 or 5 straight games. To get out in this warm weather's big, the cold, but it's Virginia weather. You never know what it's going to bring. It can rain hard one day, the next can be 40, the next it's 70. You just never know, but we've had a really good string of good weather. Getting reps outside is definitely more important than getting reps in the gym.
And just last but not least, how does it feel just being back out here with your squad, getting ready to work regular season right around the corner?
It's exciting. I think we built a really good environment, a really good culture. This is a group of guys we've all been playing since we were 6, 7. I mean, it's going to be a good year. I can feel it.
How huge is it that you're playing with some of these guys since you were 6, 7 years old? So you sort of know the tendencies, the relationships are good. How huge is that when it comes to the start of the season in a sense?
It's big. Building that team chemistry is a big part, and when you don't have to build that team chemistry, you're already a step ahead. We have inside jokes since we were 8. We know how each other plays, what gets us going, like what can help us through a big moment or a struggle. It just really helps.
Sherando Baseball, the season right around the corner. Gavin McKelvey, a senior pitcher on the Warriors Baseball team, joining me here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Best of luck to you, Gavin. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Now joining me, junior shortstop on the Sherando Warriors Baseball team, Asher Morrow. Asher, thanks for your time. How's it feel getting out here? Beautiful day on the tail end of practice. How's it feel just getting back out here with the squad?
Yeah, it feels great. It's nice being out here, getting all my reps in, get ready for the scrimmage Wednesday.
As a shortstop, how huge is it that you're maximizing your time out here instead of the early days of tryouts, practice? You're stuck inside. You get some nice days. You're outside instead of being in the gym. How huge is that with being a shortstop in high school baseball?
Yeah, it's really nice. As a shortstop, you're going to have to be moving a lot. So, a lot of space out here and practicing all your craft. It's really nice to be outside rather than the gym.
And just take me through your off season. What'd you do? What'd you work on to improve your game in a sense and get ready for this season?
Yeah, I was in the cages, swinging the bat a lot. Getting all my reps in, hitting. Obviously a lot of glove work. With my dad, doing a lot of stuff like that. Get ready for the season.
So, travel baseball, was that in your plans at all, or not really?
Yeah, I had a travel team going. Also had a showcase team, so we were doing a lot of camps and stuff, doing a lot of showcase stuff and traveling around.
So how huge is that? Travel baseball, I know the landscape of travel, you're playing a lot of innings, a lot of games in the course of a weekend, showcase tournaments, you're getting looked at by different people. How huge is that when you come into your high school season where you have 1-2 games if a doubleheader scheduled at the max in terms of the endurance aspect and getting your game at top quality for the high school season?
Yeah, so with this, a little less games, a lot of, more breaks in between with travel. Is a lot of all-around traveling, always doing something. So I feel like this is nice, get breaks in between. So it helps you recover for the next game.
So just take me through, obviously, last season, not where the team wants to finish, but a lot of positives to take out of last season. What are you sort of looking at that the team maybe wants to take out of last season to improve on even more going into this season?
Yeah, so the bats were good last year. The pitching was good. So I think we're going to try and, up it, capitalize on that from last year and maybe make a little push farther into the season.
So as a shortstop playing for Sherando, obviously getting the ball in your glove, firing to first, second base, I would imagine the routine plays. How the mental aspect, the mental component of that, how locked in do you have to be once you're on the field ready to go to track where those ground balls are going so you can be in the best position to make the best play for your team?
Yeah, it's really mental. You got to really always be there in game. They say baseball is a really mental game, so you always got to be there. You can't be thinking about what you do in practice. That's why you got to really capitalize what you do so it translates in game.
And just having Coach B on staff, it seems like he's really supportive out here of each and every one of you on the practice field. You're currently getting cuts out here on the baseball field. Just how huge is that having Coach B with you all and just a veteran mind, a veteran presence in this coaching staff?
Yeah, it's really nice. He's got us doing a lot of good stuff. He's been, playing baseball and doing a lot of baseball activity for a while, so it's really nice having a good mindset out here coaching us.
So, yeah, Asher, just last but not least, just the competition baseball in this area seems pretty big. I just want to get your thoughts. What's it like playing in this area?
It's really nice. You face a lot of good competition, a lot of good pitching, a lot of good bats out here. So it's really nice, build your skill even if, nothing plays out good. It's always nice to build on what you got going.
Asher Morrow wrapping up practice here at Sherando High School, a junior shortstop on the Sherando baseball team. Can't thank you enough for your time, and best of luck to you this season.
Thank you so much.
As you can tell by the background, we are at newly named Pepper Martin Field at Sherando High School. Joining me is second-year head coach Craig Bodenschatz. And, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time having us out today. How does it feel just getting back out?
It's good. I'm tired of being in the gym, ready to be outside and get to work. Can't simulate real baseball inside.
Just take me through, how's it feel looking at that scoreboard behind you, all the work and dedication Pepper put in, and last year being your first year taking over for Coach Martin? Just take me through how much he's meant to you.
It's rewarding to see the efforts of a lot of people come to fruition for the scoreboard and the naming. If anybody deserves to have the field named after them here, it's Coach Martin. I mean, he started the program. He was here for 32 years, I believe, and 400 wins. So, we've had some epic days on this field, and it should be named after him.
So, getting the opportunity to become the head coach after Coach Martin retired, were there any differences, or was it basically just taking the head coaching role in a sense? I just want to get your thoughts from last season, your first full season. What was that like?
It's different. It's definitely different than being the assistant. With Coach, he allowed me to do pretty much everything outside of the paperwork side of things and the administrative side. So that was different for me. But as far as the day-to-day game situation, that's pretty much the same. A lot of things stay the same. The way we've had a lot of success, there's no need to make huge changes. We've tweaked some things here and there, but the success of our program speaks for itself. There's no reason to overhaul.
And just in attendance at some of the games last year, Coach is right on the third base side, just sitting. You sort of converse with him sometimes too. How huge is that he's still there? And I mean, I would imagine maybe leaning on him if you have a question here or there, but what's that like?
There was no way he was going to not be at games. I would have bet everything I had that he would be at games. He misses it. He loves the game. People that love the game can't stay away. And, especially for him last year, those were kids that he coached for 3 years. So you can't just give it up. It's hard to just give up. So having him there was good because, I could yell over at him. And if I had a question as far as, the biggest thing for me was having him there was being able to ask him on a ruling somewhere. Coach, I'm pretty sure I'm right here. Can you confirm that? And he'll tell me yes or no. So he's, it's kind of like an extra resource right there available.
So take me through last season, Coach. You went on an impressive run, a lot of consecutive wins. It was like the tail end of the season before your team got the first loss, making it to the region tournament, unfortunately falling to Charlottesville in extra innings. But a lot of positives to take out of last season. I just want to get your overall thoughts from last season. What really stood out to you?
Yeah, last year we came in with a lot of question marks on the mound, and we had guys really step up. And the name of the game is pitching at every level. If you don't have it, you don't win. So for our pitchers to step up like they did last year, a lot of sophomores, with Dean and Aaron and Gavin was a new guy to varsity. They ate up a ton of innings for us, and they provided us quality. And when you have a pitching staff that gives you quality outings, game in, game out, you can find ways to win. And we were able to do that a lot of times.
And obviously the success you had falling short with some of your newcomers or returners that are sort of younger, because I know you lost a lot to graduation last year. How huge is it that they got to experience like the playoff atmosphere, the playoff setting, and what do you want them to sort of build on come this season early on?
Well, that was the first thing that we talked about when after we selected teams. Said we got a taste of playoffs last year, but not enough, and that when you get to a playoff game, the margin for error is razor thin. We're one strike away two separate times in that game from winning, and it didn't happen. So, you got to find a way to get that extra run, to make that defensive play when the pressure's on, and it's tight in a playoff game.
And when it comes to the playoffs, I know this is your second year. I believe the ruling was last year or the year before. No more Northwestern. Every game adds so much more weight. And I'm not saying you're not out there to win every game, but every game matters in terms of that region format and how much harder it is to get into the playoffs. Just what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's different. They still give out a region or a district champion, which we did win that, but that doesn't carry anything as far as postseason berth. It's region seeding, and it's top 5. They've actually changed it from last year from top 4 to top 5. 4 or 5 play a play-in game now. That didn't happen last year. It's different, but to jump right into regional is different, and there's no room for any losses with a district tournament in play. If you were always the regular season champion, you clinched your regional berth. It didn't matter what you did in that district tournament. Now there's no warm up. There's no early entry in the playoffs. It's go, and it's lose and go home in round 1, and it's tough.
So, just take me through. Beautiful day, just wrapping up practice here, and you had a couple nice days at like the beginning of the tryout period into the start of the season. As a head coach, how huge is that you're getting your team outside so early instead of inside in a gym?
Yeah, we've been pleased with the weather and being able to get out here and get our work in. Like I said earlier, there's really nothing that simulates real baseball outside of hitting in a cage, throwing your bullpens, but to work on defense and the overall aspect of your offensive game plan, you got to be outside, and we've been fortunate this spring, and we're hoping to continue to take advantage of it, because those cold nights they're no fun for anybody.
Absolutely. So just take me through sort of the makeup of your team and what you're liking so far about your team early on with a scrimmage coming up before the start of the regular season.
Yeah, we've got 7 seniors this year, so there's some experience coming back. We've got the nucleus of the pitching staff from last year comes back, and we've got a mix of juniors and seniors that make up that pitching staff, and really the biggest thing is the infield defense is going to be almost completely replaced. So that's why we're working so hard out here on our infield defense.
When it comes to the pitching staff, correct me if I'm wrong, but you used to be the pitching coach. How huge is that as a head coach, focused on the pitchers when you were the pitching coach, that you're able to get most of your returning starters back?
Yeah, anytime you can bring back experience on the mound, guys that have been in those big games and performed, that's going to be a benefit. Like I said earlier, you can't win without good pitching, and free base runners, there's no defense for the walk. There's no way to stop a guy when you can't throw the ball across the plate, and that's the biggest challenge of this game. If you don't compete on the mound, you're in trouble. So being a former pitching coach, it's hard for me to not be there with every bullpen, but I have all the confidence in the world in Coach Copley. He's a great addition to our staff, has college experience, and is working with our guys, and our guys are responding to his work, and we're ready to go. We're ready to see the results here this week with a couple of scrimmages and get ready to go next week.
Former player also, Frankie Ritter. How's that feel? You coached him up. He had one heck of a career at Shenandoah. What's that like, adding a former player to your staff in Frank Ritter?
Having a guy like Frank is big, because the players know of his success. He just graduated in the spring, so last spring. So the players know what he brings. They know that he's a record winner up there at Shenandoah. They know that as far as an infield instructor, that he brings the goods, and we're fortunate to have him on our staff as well. We've got a heck of a staff. Can't forget about Coach Smallwood. That's another guy with college experience, another former player here. It's great when the former players come back. That just shows that the invest that they had when they were a player here is still there, and they come in and they give back to the players again, and it's great.
Speaking of the history of Coach Smallwood, you won a state championship as the pitching coach with Chase catching in that game. It seems like ages ago, but just having him that you won a state championship with him as a player, how huge is that?
Chase has got experience all the way around. As a player, as a coach. I believe, this is his 7th year with the program in some capacity. So, he's no longer a new guy. He's a seasoned guy, and with that, you learn every year as a coach. You learn something new, and the way that translates over to the players, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the best of our players with everything we can, and prepare them as well as we can, and have a good season.
So, Coach, just in wrapping this up, in terms of the competition, seems like baseball games in this area well attended, a lot of support. What's it like just playing baseball, coaching baseball rather, in this northwestern district with a lot of competition between Jameswood, Millbrook, and Hamlin?
Yes, it's great. The more, the bigger the crowd, the more intense the game. I feel like the better baseball you see, and that's the only way to prepare for the playoffs is to play good competition, and we're going to see that good competition in the regular season and hopefully carry that into the postseason.
And last but not least, just taking a look at your schedule, what really stands out to you about any maybe non-district opponents or anything that any team you'll be faced up to play? How do you like the makeup of your schedule?
There's the addition of the spring break tournament at Shenandoah with some teams that we haven't seen, Heritage, Musselman, Martinsburg. So that'll be nice. It'll be good to be able to play there on the turf, get some experience there, and see some different competition.
Opening Shenandoah's field for a spring break tournament, which I talked to Coach Kevin Anderson about that, and he was all for the idea to open that up. What's that like? You're facing new competition that you all really don't know a lot about, but some good competition from what I've scouted. Just what's that like, getting the opportunity to play in, I guess, maybe an invitational tournament, something like that?
Anytime you can be in an invitational situation like that, you want to take advantage, and you want to play well, and you want to put your best out there against teams that you may not see all the time, and let them know that we play a pretty good brand of baseball.
And just your players getting set for that tournament on spring break and getting the opportunity to play at a D3 facility with one of the nicest turf fields I've stepped foot on. Just what's that like from the aspect of moving from grass to turf, if anything?
It's a bit of an adjustment for the infielders, and if we're fortunate to get a little work on turf before we get up there, that'll be big, because the ball reacts differently. That second hop on a ground ball is going to have top spin, and it's going to take off, and that's something you don't see on the grass. So it's an adjustment. Sliding, you got to slide sooner because you'll slide past the bag. Outfielders, the ball's going to get by them and get to the fence faster. It's a different game on turf, for sure.
And, Coach, last but not least, you've been at Sherando for quite some time, second year as the head coach, rather, and just take me through the amount of support you've gotten over the years with this baseball program, because it seems like year in and year out, Sherando baseball has some sort of history. And just what is that like, you're sort of turning that page, the next head coach making more history in a sense?
Yeah, we're fortunate. We've had good players, and you don't win anything without good players. And with the setup here in Frederick County, we can't recruit, so we're locked in with what we get. So we have to work with the athletes that come through. We don't have the ability to go out and try to recruit a player or have a kid transfer in. We're dealing with local kids, and that's for our for the success of our program, that goes down to the younger levels. Obviously kids are getting good coaching at the youth level, and then making it to here and being successful.
There you have it, Sherando Warriors Baseball right around the corner. Longtime coach, second-year head coach Craig Bodenschatz joining me here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Can't thank you enough, Coach, and looking forward to working with you all season.
Thanks for having me, Kirby.